We love a good transformation. New hair, fresh makeup, it makes us feel alive. But what if the makeover your soul craves has nothing to do with how you look and everything to do with how you think? As kingdom women called to the business battlefield, it's just not about strategy. It's spiritual. You are bringing down a heavenly solution to an earthly problem. And if fear, imposter syndrome, comparison is keeping you silent, you're not alone. But you weren't called to hide. The enemy isn't afraid of your business plan. He's afraid of your voice. Stop shrinking, start showing up, and catch this episode of the Kingdom Business Revolution podcast and learn how daily 6-minute resets are helping women like you armor up, reset their minds, and fight from a place of victory, not pressure. Welcome to the Kingdom Revolution podcast. We are redefining faith in online business to empower you to clarify your calling so that you can create, grow, and launch a profitable, impactful, and scalable business by God's design without being a slave to social media and without sacrificing your faith and values. You know that you've been called to business and you want to do it God's way, not the world's way. A business that is based off the blueprint He put inside of you. A business by God's design, one that incorporates your testimony and inner fire to make a difference in this world. Like me, you don't mind going down a few rabbit holes, but you don't have to go down one to see that there is a war on future generations, a war on families, and a war against you, that kingdom warrior mama called to business, a war to silence your voice and movement. I believe your online business is your battlefield. It's how you get to show up and use that voice to create kingdom wealth and take back what the enemy has stolen. You have that inner fire to change your family's legacy, to take your passions, knowledge, life experiences, or even that hobby that you love and create an online business, bringing a heavenly solution down to an earthly problem. Maybe you have too many ideas. You're not even quite sure where to start. Or maybe you've been struggling for a few months, even years, duct taping it all together with worldly tactics and strategies that are just leaving you confused, overwhelmed, and questioning your calling. If that's you, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm your host, Kristen Duranci. I'm a wife, mama, ex-9-to-5er, and daughter of the King. I am a mama against the mainstream agenda, who is using her voice and her online business to fight against the evils going on in today's world. I believe God is calling women back into position to a kingdom revolution, to the battlefield, to find and strengthen their voice, to stand firm for biblical truth, to be the change they want to see in this world. My mission battlefield? Restoring the family unit the way God intended, to bring mamas home so that they can be the one raising their warriors for the kingdom while making impact and income. So join me each week as I dive into honest conversations about my journey, tactical tips, spiritual and mindset strategies, along with the step-by-step plan to empower you to take that step of faith, to partner with God, to create, build, and launch an online business by His design without being a slave to social media. So if you're ready to say yes to all of this, you're not afraid to rock that status quo and be part of a kingdom revolution, then armor up with Ephesians 6 and put on the full armor of God, because you are a warrior for the kingdom, and He is going to use you and your online business to do some pretty amazing things here on this side of heaven. Welcome back to the Kingdom Business Revolution podcast. I have an amazing guest here today that is going to bless you, amazing listeners. So if you are tired of overthinking, stressed, or feeling stuck in fear, then you're in the right place, because today's guest, Ashriel Huber, is here to remind you that you're not broken, you just need a reset. She's the creator of Love Moves, a 6-minute faith-filled workout for your thoughts and body that help you trade pressure for peace and fear for love. get ready because this conversation will leave you lighter, braver, and more connected to Jesus. Oh, I am so thankful and excited to have you here with us today. This episode has been a long time coming, Ashriel, and I just honor you and honor what you do because it is just absolutely amazing. You have such a gift. Can you give our amazing women a little insight into who you are and why you do what you do with Love Moves?
Oh, I love it. And thank you, first of all, just for that really nice introduction. Like, if you don't know me, that sounded really good. Thank you, Kristen. I just shined right there. Like, you're thinking, whoa, who is this woman? I am too. But thank you for letting me be on your podcast and being a part of your journey and your audience. I'm really excited. Okay, so I have to be very honest. I did not set out in my life looking for a reset. Life was fine. It really was. There were even some good days in there. I was like, yes. But under the surface, I just carried this loneliness and anxiety and fear. And there were these shadows that seemed to follow me that I couldn't shake, but I also couldn't talk about. And then, as he likes to do, Jesus just met me in the middle of my very, very ordinary life, like boom. And he pulled off this extraordinary rescue. He woke me up, he dusted me off, and then he reset everything in my mind and my body and my soul, but mostly my soul. And out of that rescue, he gave me love moves. First, he was like, I'm going to move you in my love. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And then he invited me to write about it and then speak about it and start a podcast and build a business and then help other women discover their own reset in him. So that's kind of like the thought line of my story, abiding with Jesus and these big life resets that change everything, but then taking the time to have these little daily resets to stay close to Jesus. And, the shadows in my story, they're still there, but now it's like this bright backdrop for Jesus to have this rescue and reset. So that's a little bit of Ash. Ordinary woman, extraordinary God, and now this is where we're at.
Thank you so much for sharing because I think there's power in hearing other people's stories. And ladies, you need to get to know Ashriel. You need to grab her resource that we're going to talk about later on because she has a gift and she has an amazing way with words. And she's going to be writing a book and all of that stuff. So every time I get an email from her, I'm like, oh my goodness, she just has a way with words. And I know that she's going to bless you tremendously. So you talk about how you give women a heavenly makeover. What does that mean? And why do we want to have a heavenly makeover?
Oh, that's a great question. So first of all, I love makeovers. Like, I watched every makeover show they had it. If it was a house, if it was a person, I was like, I want this in my life. I was like, just give me the dramatic transformation. I'm every before. I just want to look like the after. Like, that's what I want in my life. And I think for love moves and having resets, it's that same thing. So on a makeover, they sit you in a chair, they do something with your hair, they put on some good makeup, and you're like, oh, I am breathtaking. But how do we make over us on the inside, right? Have you ever asked myself, how do I get prettier inside? Like, what does that look like, Kristen? What do you do to get prettier inside? Well, there's no makeover chair that somebody gives you. Nobody sits you down and says, well, if we trim a little bit here, we take a little off the top, you're going to look great. So instead, we go, okay, how do we get stronger on the inside? When you're kids, you character build. But when you are a woman of, God, what do you do to lift off heavy layers of fear and shame and striving? How do you get stronger inside? You start to replace lies with God's truth. And you do that by moving your body and your mind and your spirit together. So you start working out from the inside. And it's not a surface change, it's a transformation inside. And then my favorite thing that I tell women is people don't know that you've transformed, but they sense something. They'll look at you and they'll go, is there something different? And you're like looking at your hair and you're like, did I lose a pound? Like, what happened in my life? I don't know. And they're like, you just seem lighter. You just seem a little more, and they hedge, like, joyful. And you're like, oh my gosh, I am walking a little lighter. I am more joyful. I just feel better. I feel more confident. And it's this heavenly makeover that gives us that motivation from inside and that confidence to be who God says we are. So, no, I can't give you any lipstick. I can, maybe give you a tip if you really want, but no pressure on that. But I can help you from the inside to not just feel more beautiful, but to live more beautiful. And that's kind of what it's all about.
Ooh, I love that. And it is so true. I wrote down, we want the after. We want that transformation. And I love that analogy of those homemaker overs, those, oh my goodness, what was those painting makeovers, all of that. It's such a great analogy because we love to watch that and we love to have that in our lives, whether it's the outward appearance or the inward appearance that you work with these amazing women. And I love how you bring in, which sets you apart, your unique God-given differentiator is that you bring in not just the mind and the spirit, but you bring in the body too. And they're all moving together with your love moves in order to create that heavenly makeover. And the mind is such a important piece. I mean, the body is too, all of it is. So I love, like I said, how you incorporate all of it together. But I am so intrigued with the mind because what I have learned throughout my life is that our thoughts really do dictate the future and where we're heading. So how do our thoughts affect us as women, but really tailoring it to these kingdom women in online business? How do thoughts actually affect our business, our motherhood, and our life?
Oh, that's such a powerful question because you're right. Your thoughts, they control the entire direction of your life. So as kingdom women, when we step into business, you know, and you know this story so well because you and I had a conversation once and you were going on about all these things and I was like, "But Kristen, you're so good at this, this, and this." And you looked at me and you said, "Ash, I've been doing this for this long. I have the skill set, I have the mindset. I've got this. You're comparing your now to my after." And I think that's probably the biggest thing that gets in the way of any woman, especially a kingdom woman, going into the battlefield because we don't really feel like it's for us. And our thoughts, the reality is they're not just background noise, but we treat them like background noise. We're like, well, we'll just keep it in there. They're fine. We'll let them just have their way. But they're seeds. And what we think consistently shapes what we believe. And what we believe, that's going to guide our actions that we take or that we don't take, like stepping onto that business battlefield, right? And over time, those actions, those decisions, that becomes our future. So in a kingdom business, if we are fear-based, what are we doing? We're hesitating. We're playing small. We're shrinking from visibility. We're like, please do not look at me. I didn't brush my teeth. I'm not good enough. Like, this is not for me. Or we get the comparison thoughts. Like, I'm looking at Kristen going, oh my gosh, she's amazing. She's created this incredible empire, this business. She helps so many. And then I try to overwork to become just like you, or I burn out, or I feel like I'm not enough. But then what can we do instead? You know this. We have truth. We put God's truth over. If we are going to armor up, if we are going to step onto the battlefield, we have to be equipped. So if you're saying, what do we need for these women? It says in Proverbs 23:7, as she thinks in her heart, so she is. And if our thoughts are aligned with heaven, our lives and our businesses begin to reflect heaven too. So that's that beauty of having kind of that internal makeover, because if you don't have it right on the inside, you're never going to get it right on the outside. You want to wake up with peace, not pressure. You want to move through the business battlefield with confidence, not weighed down by who you are or not, either from your own thoughts or what the world says. So, I would ask you, what do you think women need to get onto this battlefield? Because you have led the charge. What are we missing?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's a lot that boils down to imposter syndrome and not necessarily, we know who we are in Christ, but do we really know who we are? If we actually tapped into how powerful we are and that the enemy is actually trembling when we use our voice for the business battlefield, because our voice is that weapon. So he knows that if he can get you stuck, especially in the beginning stages of your business, that you are not going to keep moving forward and make that impact and the eternal impact that the Lord wants you to create on this side of heaven. And I think the missing piece that I've seen in a lot of women that I run across, not just the business strategy part, they're piecing it together, but the really missing piece is they don't understand how powerful that they truly are. And if they would just put their eyes back on the one who called them to the business battlefield instead of the shiny objects and everything going on
Mhm.
in the world, then they would really harness that power and unleash the power of the Holy Spirit inside of them. So, yes, thank you for asking. Woo.
I just love that, and I think we need to I mean, we need to have more of those conversations because I also think that's the reality, and it was for me. I don't know about you, but it's really hard when you first kinda get that little tingle, that little nudge that you feel like God's calling you, and then you look around, you're like, "Was it a missed dial? Was it a butt dial? Is this really for me? I don't know." And then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, wait, no, I think this is for me." And then you start to question. You go, "Well, really don't think you called the right person, God. I don't have this." And you start to disqualify yourself. And the reality is, I think that's very normal, but it's not okay. Because if we normalize it and we say, oh, well, that's just how it is, then we just start living like that and we never step into our calling. And sure, God can use somebody else, but He planted that in us. So, question on this. I've really been diving deep into abiding lately, and I'm fascinated by that idea of abiding is almost like this myelination of, like a neuron that helps connect to another neuron so we can be connected and we can think better and create new neural pathways. But it's almost like abiding is this way for us to connect to God, whether the voice of God, the heart of God, the mind of God, all of these things to connect with Him so we can better channel it. What do you think about abiding for kingdom businesswomen? Do you think that's something that we need to do, or is it just an extra?
Oh, no, we definitely need to abide for sure. I mean, Jesus says that I'm the vine and you're the branch, and we can't do anything that, I mean, just think of any branch, whether it's a vine on a grape or a tree. As soon as that branch is detached, it withers and it wilters and dies, and the leaves on it or the fruit that's supposed to be producing is going to die. And if we don't abide in Jesus Christ, then who we are, who He created us to be, even is going to wilt. And we're not going to step into our true calling, whether it's in business or in life. And I think that really goes into that next question I have for you is abiding, but I mean, we can abide. I'm from Michigan, okay? Our trees, they're amazing in the summer, and they go through that transition in the fall and they change colors. And in the winter, the tree looks like it's dead, right? So sometimes we're in that winter season of our life that we're still abiding. Those branches are still attached, but they're not producing fruit. And I think that's where you come in and what you do, because it's time for that reset so that we can produce the fruit, so that we can produce those leaves. So when you talk about that reset and that makeover that we actually need to have in different stages of life and different stages of business, because we're in different seasons, whether we're a new mom or mm, a empty nester, there's different seasons where we have to take time to reset. And even though we're still abiding, we're not seeing the fruit in that season. So for that mom or that woman that's like, I know I need a reset, but I don't have time. How does she even start to tap into this heavenly makeover that you're talking about? So people can see who she's actually created to be in this season.
Oh, that's so good. And I like that you talked about with the winter season. Also, I'm envisioning Michigan. It seems very cold. Like, oh, that's kind of tough. But I think a lot of times with fruit and working in the kingdom, we get really weary when we don't see a heart, right? We're all going, it's like that after picture that we want the harvest. But the reality is the gap between the harvest and what we're putting in, it's long and it's really boring. It takes a lot of boring work to get there, to be honest, because fruit is the byproduct of abiding. It's not the proof of it. And so abiding doesn't mean you're going to get nonstop fruit, but it does mean you're going to get nonstop connection. And the reset of His love is what really keeps us steady until that season shifts. Like He's what we're holding on to. We're abiding through in that waiting season as we're taking all those really, really boring steps to get there. And if I would speak to that mama out there who's questioning all this, I would say, Mama, I see you. I see you. I've been you. You're in a season that feels bare, like those Michigan trees in the winter, right? Nothing to show for the work, No fruit on the branches, just exhaustion, loneliness, maybe even shame that you should be. Oh, I hate the should be's. You should be producing more, but I want you to hear me, mama. You are not dead. You are not failing. You are still rooted. You are still alive and you are loved. And abiding doesn't mean always bearing fruit. It means staying connected to the source of life. And that is where your heavenly makeover is going to begin. It's not a surface level fix. Remember, I have no lipstick for you. I look terrible in lipstick. It's Jesus resetting you from the inside out, reconnecting what feels broken, renewing what feels weary, transforming what feels ordinary into extraordinary. That is kingdom life. And you don't have to do it all at once, my sweet mama. Please, you just need one little reset to start with. Or if you're working with me, one little love move moment to just breathe, to stretch, and to speak truth over yourself. Just one pause to remember his love is your reset. His presence is your strength. His word is your anchor. That's the makeover your soul is craving. So ask yourself, if you're listening, will you let him reset you today? Will you let him just come alongside you, not by striving, but abiding? Because mama, even in winter, his love is moving in you and spring will come. Okay, that was my letter to you. There she goes. That's for the mamas.
Ooh, so good. I told you, amazing women of God, that you are in for a treat today with our guest, Ashriel. Can you take them through a quick love moves or quick reset right now so they can hear you in action?
I would absolutely love to, but you know I'm going to have to share one other thing with your beautiful audience before I do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, I'm doing this today because there was a few months ago that I had a wonderful time with Kristen. We laughed, I cried, she watched me cry. It was great. It was a good time for all of us. And that we really talked about the journey and love moves and all of that fun stuff. And then this dear sweet woman, she looked me in the eyes and she goes, Ash, I just want you to know, I don't think I'm your customer. And I thought, well, that's it. Sleeves are getting rolled up because I am going to do anything and everything I can do in my power to get this woman to do a love move with me. And so we're not going to do a full-on reset, but we're going to do a mini reset today. You're very gracious. Thank you, Kristen. I owe you one. You're very sweet.
Oh, you're amazing. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes. And the reason I said that, amazing listeners, is because I was like, I'm just not going to take a moment out and move my body and do some exercising this season of life. And she just kind of looked at me like, oh, okay, but let's put together. And I can't wait to share it with you, with those in the Kingdom Business Revolution community. So if you're not over there, head on over there because it's going to live inside the Facebook community as well as my paid resources. She's put together an amazing loves move for Kingdom Women in Business. So you'll have to come join us in the community or be one of my paying clients in order to get that. However, you're going to get a little taste of it today.
Okay, let's do it. And also, little side note, if you're not in her community, it's way too much fun in there. I joined a while back and I lose a lot of time. I get sucked in, but it's so much fun. So definitely join the community. And yes, there is, like I said, I had to prove a point. So I made an amazing, it's called Warrior Wake Up, and it's a love move reset. And it's going to get you armored up and aligned and ready for the day. And what I am going to convince everybody of is it is the best way to start your morning because you combine everything, your quiet time with God, your abiding, your worship, your movement, you get it all. One-stop shop, 6 minutes. But we're going to do one today. So if you're driving, just listen and do what you can. Please follow all the safety road rules. But if you're at home where you're able to get in a comfortable position, and I'm going to guide us through this. You can do as much or as little as you like. Just take it as your own comfort. So sit up, and we're going to start by rolling our shoulders. So start rolling your shoulders. And as we do this, I'm going to start with a prayer activator. Lord, wake us up as warriors. Reset our minds and our bodies with your peace. All right, now go ahead and cross your arms over to your shoulders, and you're going to tap twice on one shoulder and then the other, and keep going back and forth. I'm going to ask you a question, and go ahead and answer it in your head. Otherwise, it's going to get real noisy in here. Lord, what heavy burden do you want me to lay down today? Lord, what heavy burden do you want me to lay down today? Okay, now you're going to cross your arms and touch your knees, and you're going to do the same tapping on your knees that you did on your shoulders. And we're going to do another question that you're going to answer in your head. All right, start tapping. Lord, where are you calling me to stand for truth? Lord, where are you calling me to stand for truth? Okay, now reach your arms out wide to the side. And then I'm going to say 3 truths over you. You can either say them with me or let them pour over you. I am called. I am equipped. I am called. I am equipped. I am called. I am equipped. And we're going to go to our final prayer activator. We're going to inhale, wake up warrior, and exhale, I fight from victory. Let's do that one last time. Inhale, wake up warrior. Exhale, I fight from victory. And that, my friends, you did it. A very tiny mini reset that can shift your whole day. Even Kristen couldn't escape this one. And if you love just the little one, the full one is amazing. You're going to armor up. You're going to get your sword out. You're going to look amazing doing it, by the way. And I'll send that over so you guys can get that link in the show notes or wherever she wants to have it lives.
Yes, you have one that you can download. I will put it in the show notes that will help you have that reset, shake off stress, calm your thoughts, and reconnect with God's peace. I am just absolutely amazed, Ashriel, how you have combined all of this together. And they truly are just simple things that you can incorporate throughout your day, anytime really that you have that reset that you want. And Ashriel actually puts together different ones for her clients depending on what they need to have released. Is it imposter syndrome? Is it fear? So it is just absolutely amazing. But from what I know about the mind and how we need to do things repetitively in order to actually form a habit, to actually create new neural pathways, to actually create beliefs that actually serve us so that we can make the change, be the change, really according to what Romans 12:2 says as well. How do these busy moms actually start to make this a habit? So for me, I'm thinking, oh, I could incorporate it with my little one every morning.
Yes. Oh, I love that so much. Okay, I'm going to give you a nerdy answer, and then I'm going to give you more of the mama answer. So,
Perfect.
why do we need this habit? Well, I guess first of all, we would say because life doesn't just hand us one big reset. Like God didn't rescue us and say, you're done, you're good. Like nothing left to do for you, my friend. We're not left untouched. We leak, we get tired, we drift, we fall back into fear or performance or striving. So it has to become a habit. And the only way we can do that is if we start to reshape our brain. So our brains, if you love neuroplasticity as much as I do, I love it. Our brains are constantly rewiring based on repeated thoughts and actions. So if we do one reset, we're like, that was fun, Ash, and we never do it again, you're just going to go back to do the same things you've always done. You're going to think the same things you've always thought. And then because of that, you're going to feel the same things you've always felt. And because of that, you're going to make the same decisions you've always made. So when we do a reset, what are we doing? We're pausing, we're praying, we're moving in God's love. And that's going to strengthen our pathway to peace, focus, and faith. And over time, the beauty of it, of how God made our brain, is that these new pathways will replace old defaults of fear, anxiety, stress, or striving. So we have to, we have to get in there. We have to get a little nosy and a little busybody and interrupt those stress cycles. Because when we get overwhelmed, we just kind of think it's normal. We live in the overwhelm, and our nervous system a lot of times gets stuck in that fight, flight, or freeze response. So a reset, a breath, a movement, a prayer, it activates our parasympathetic nervous system so we can rest and restore. So we're calming the cortisol, which likes to kill our brain's neurons. Let's get that out of there. Lowers our heart rate and gives our body just this place to heal. And I love that. Our brains, God bless them, they're so efficient. They love efficiency. So habits, these resets are like little shortcuts for them. It's like cue, action, reward, cue, action, reward. So when you start doing love moves, you're building these resets into your daily life, like before a meeting. I did one before we had this interview. I'm not gonna lie to you. During school pickup, I've done it in the carpool lanes. Anytime get negative thoughts, your brain starts to learn, oh, when I feel stress, I go to Jesus. And eventually, abiding becomes our default response, not the exception. So resets that involve movement, like the love moves that you guys are all going to start doing and love so much, they create dual task learning. So our body anchors the truth in the brain, and the movement boosts our dopamine, our growth neurons, and literally helps your brain grow stronger connections to truth. Let's just have stronger connections to truth. So there's my nerdy moment for you, Kristen. Was it too much? Was it
No,
enough?
I love it. I'm like you. I love how the brain works. It's so interesting. And gosh, God created it to be just absolutely powerful and amazing. So for those that may not be nerdy like us, give us another answer.
Oh, okay. I like that. Resets, they have to become a rhythm. So if you're saying, Ash, I don't have time for your nerdy behavioral neuroscience, I get it. Sometimes I don't either. But what you do have time for, and even though you're going to try and tell yourself you don't, is you have time for a reset, and a reset to become a rhythm, not a one-time event. Not because you have to do this, not because you should do this, because you get to do this. So you get to live as a kingdom woman. So your reset, it's going to reconnect you. It brings your eyes back to Jesus when distractions have pulled you away. And the resets are going to renew you. It's going to interrupt, remember that busybody, interrupt that stress cycle and give your body and mind just a holy pause. And then that reset, it's actually going to eventually transform you. Remember we talked about that inside makeover? It's going to retrain your thoughts. It's going to wire in truth, and it's going to unwire those lies. It's going to start doing that synaptic pruning and just get it out of there. So why would you make it a habit? Why would you get up every morning on purpose and move your body for 6 minutes and abide? Because abiding isn't one and done. Fruit only comes through connection, and your soul will never stop needing his love. So that's what I would tell him.
I love it. Thank you so much. This has been amazing, and I'm honored to have you as a guest on the Kingdom Business Revolution podcast. Do you have any last minute words for these amazing mamas and women in online business who are listening?
I think don't estimate the power of one reset in your life. It's one reset that brought us into the kingdom. And when you choose to do one reset every day, every time you pause and pray and you move in God's love, you are rewiring your brain. You are restoring your body. You are rooting your soul deeper in Jesus. And you may feel like Kristen's Michigan tree in winter. You may. Bare, tired, unfruitful, but you are still alive. You are still called. You are still abiding. You are still God's. And spring will come, my friend. It will come. And until then, remember, moving in his love will reset your soul, and you will need that every day because his love is something we need every day.
Yes, amen. Oh, thank you so much. And listeners, you can connect with Ashriel in the show notes. I will link up the resource that she was talking about as well, the Love Moves for you, and you can connect with her at the links in the show notes. So thank you. Have a great day.
Oh, thank you so much, Kristen. This was amazing. Love you. Thank you for the opportunity.
That's it for today, friends. Real quick before you go, if this podcast has blessed you in some way, the number one way that you can thank me is to leave a written review over on Apple Podcasts. The second thing you can do is take a screenshot of this episode or that review and tag me over on social media in your stories at Kristen Duranci. And then I will share you in my stories and give you a shout out. This not only blesses me, but you are creating a ripple effect by getting this message into the hands of others that might need to hear it. And know that there's only one you. Someone is out there waiting to hear from you. They're waiting for your message, your story, and your solution to their problem. You are the expert they're waiting to hear from. I want you to know this, feel this, and most importantly, be this. Never underestimate the impact and power that you have been given through the Holy Spirit. Be blessed, friend, and I'll see you on the next episode.